A 68-year-old patient came to me with gut inflammation, so severe his doctor suspected Crohn's disease. It wasn't Crohn's, it was eggs. Not the eggs themselves, the way he'd been cooking and eating them every single morning for 12 years straight. 7 specific mistakes turned the healthiest food in his kitchen into a slow poison. Nobody caught it. Not his gastroenterologist, not his dietitian, nobody. Right now, something is happening inside your gut that you can't feel. Oxidized cholesterol from overheated eggs is embedding itself into your arterial walls. Damaged proteins from incorrect cooking are triggering inflammatory responses in your intestines. Bacterial contamination from storage mistakes you don't even know you're making is quietly destroying your microbiome. You feel fine. Your body is not fine. Here's what they won't tell you. After 60, your stomach acid drops by nearly 40%. Your enzyme production slows. Your gut lining thins. The way you handled eggs at 40 and got away with it, your body can't survive that anymore. Same food, same recipe, completely different outcome. But no doctor adjusts your egg advice based on age. They just say eat protein. Nobody says how. Nobody says when. Nobody says what to avoid. A $380 billion processed food industry wants you confused about real food, so you buy their engineered alternatives. Egg substitutes, protein shakes, fortified cereals, all garbage. Eggs are still king, but only if you stop making these 7 mistakes that are silently compounding damage every single morning. You thought you were eating healthy. You thought eggs were safe no matter what. And your cholesterol kept rising. Your gut kept worsening. Because preparation matters more than the food itself. In this video, we will reveal 7 egg mistakes silently poisoning seniors, ranked from least to most dangerous. Number 1 is something 9 out of 10 seniors do daily without question. And the research behind it is terrifying. References are in the description. How old are you and where are you watching from? Drop it below. I read every comment. I reply personally. Now let's start with number 7. This mistake starts before you even crack the egg, and almost every senior is guilty of it. Number 7. Eating eggs raw or undercooked. This one might sound obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people over 60 still eat their eggs with a runny yolk or barely cooked center. Maybe you like your sunny side up with that liquid gold running across your toast. Maybe you toss a raw egg into a smoothie for extra protein. It feels harmless, but after 60, this habit becomes a genuine health risk, and the numbers back it up. The Centers for Disease Control estimates that salmonella causes roughly 1.35 million infections every year in the United States alone. And eggs are one of the top sources. Now, here's where age matters. A study published in the journal Clinical Infectious Diseases found that adults over 65 were 4 times more likely to be hospitalized from a salmonella infection compared to younger adults. The fatality rate was also significantly higher in this age group. Why? Because as you age, your immune system naturally weakens. Your stomach produces less hydrochloric acid, which is your body's first line of defense against bacteria. So that same runny egg that your body handled fine at 35 can now lead to severe dehydration, kidney complications, and in extreme cases sepsis. The fix here is simple. Cook your eggs all the way through. The FDA recommends cooking eggs until both the white and the yolk are firm. That means an internal temperature of at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 71 degrees Celsius. If you love soft textures, try a well-cooked scramble with a little olive oil or butter. You still get that creamy mouthfeel without the bacterial risk. If you're adding eggs to shakes or smoothies, switch to pasteurized eggs or pasteurized liquid egg products. These have been heat-treated to eliminate salmonella without actually cooking the egg. You keep the convenience and the protein, but you remove the danger. And don't rely on how the egg looks or smells. Salmonella doesn't change the taste, color, or odor of an egg. The only way to be safe is proper cooking. This is especially important if you're on any medications that suppress your immune system, like corticosteroids or certain arthritis drugs. Your body is already working with fewer defenses, so giving bacteria an easy way in is the last thing you want to do. But that's just the starting point. The next mistake is something millions of seniors do, thinking it's the healthier choice. Number 6. Throwing away the yolk. This is one of the most common mistakes I see, and it breaks my heart every time. Somewhere along the way, people got convinced that egg yolks are bad. So they crack their eggs, toss the golden center straight into the trash, and eat plain egg whites, thinking they're making a smart health decision. But the science tells a completely different story. The yolk is where almost all of the egg's nutrition lies. We're talking about 100% of the egg's vitamin D, 100% of its vitamin A, 100% of its vitamin K2, and over 90% of its calcium, iron, and zinc. Most importantly for seniors, the yolk contains choline. Choline is a nutrient that's absolutely critical for brain health, liver function, and muscle control. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that over 90% of Americans don't get enough choline. And for adults over 60, that deficiency has been directly linked to increased risk of cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. Researchers at Boston University followed over 1,400 adults and found that those with higher choline intake performed significantly better on memory tests. They also had lower rates of brain white matter damage, which is a marker of silent strokes. When you throw away the yolk, you're throwing away approximately 147 milligrams of choline per egg. The recommended daily intake for men over 50 is 550 milligrams, and for women it's 425 milligrams. So just 2 whole eggs get you more than halfway there, but 2 egg whites get you almost nothing. The yolk also contains lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 antioxidants that protect your eyes from age-related macular degeneration, which is the leading cause of blindness in seniors. A study in the Journal of Nutrition found that eating 1.3 egg yolks per day increased blood lutein levels by 28% and zeaxanthin by 142%. You simply cannot get these results from egg whites alone. So eat the whole egg. If cholesterol concerns are holding you back, stay tuned, because we're going to address that myth directly in a later section. For now, just know that by removing the yolk, you're removing the single most nutritious part of the egg and getting almost no benefit in return. Now, the next mistake doesn't involve what part of the egg you eat. It's about how you cook it. Number 5. Cooking eggs on very high heat. Here's something most people never think about. The temperature you cook your eggs at actually changes the chemistry of the egg itself, and not in a good way. When you crank your stove to high and cook your eggs until the edges are crispy and brown, you're doing 2 things that directly harm your health. First, you're creating oxidized cholesterol. Cholesterol in its natural form inside a fresh egg yolk is not the enemy, but when that cholesterol is exposed to very high heat, it oxidizes. And oxidized cholesterol is a completely different beast. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that oxidized cholesterol promotes inflammation in blood vessels and accelerates the buildup of arterial plaque. For seniors who already have reduced arterial flexibility, this is like throwing gasoline on a slow fire. Research from the Chinese University of Hong Kong showed that oxidized cholesterol from overcooked foods was significantly more damaging to cardiovascular tissue than regular dietary cholesterol. Second, high heat destroys heat-sensitive nutrients. Vitamin D levels in eggs drop by up to 18% when cooked at high temperatures for extended periods, according to research published in Food Chemistry. B vitamins, particularly B12 and folate, also degrade significantly. Antioxidants like lutein break down as well, so you're essentially cooking out the very nutrients that make eggs valuable in the first place. The solution is to cook your eggs low and slow. Use medium or medium-low heat. A gentle scramble takes about 3 to 4 minutes on medium-low, and the result is actually creamier and tastier. Poaching is another excellent option because the water temperature stays around 180 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot enough to cook the egg safely but cool enough to preserve the nutrients. Soft boiling is also great because the shell acts as a protective barrier, keeping the yolk's nutrients largely intact even while the white cooks through. If you must fry, use a healthy fat like olive oil or avocado oil. Keep the heat at medium, and don't let the edges brown. That browning is visual proof that oxidation is happening. Think of it this way: you wouldn't leave expensive medicine out in the sun and expect it to work the same. Heat does the same thing to the nutrients in your food. Speaking of things that seem harmless, the next mistake is something almost everyone does without a second thought. Number 4. Adding too much salt to your eggs. Let's be real. Plain eggs without salt taste pretty bland, so most people reach for the salt shaker automatically. A little shake here, a little shake there. But for seniors over 60, those little shakes add up fast, and the consequences are serious. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day for adults over 50. That's less than 3/4 of a teaspoon of table salt for your entire day. Most Americans consume more than 3,400 milligrams daily, which is more than double the recommended amount, and breakfast is often where the damage starts. A single quarter teaspoon of salt added to your eggs contains roughly 575 milligrams of sodium. That's already more than a third of your entire daily limit in one meal, and that's just the salt you add. If you're eating your eggs with toast, bacon, or cheese, you're stacking sodium on top of sodium. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine analyzed data from 66 countries and concluded that excess sodium was responsible for an estimated 1.65 million cardiovascular deaths globally per year. For older adults, the link between sodium and high blood pressure is even stronger because aging kidneys become less efficient at filtering excess sodium from the blood. Research from the University of Helsinki followed over 2,000 men for 20 years and found that those who consumed more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium daily had a 20% higher risk of cardiovascular events compared to those who stayed below the recommended threshold. So what do? First, try seasoning your eggs with herbs and spices instead of salt. Turmeric is a fantastic option because it contains curcumin, which has powerful anti-inflammatory properties that actually benefit your heart. Black pepper, garlic powder, paprika, and fresh herbs like chives or parsley all add incredible flavor without a single milligram of sodium. If you absolutely need that salty taste, try a small pinch of potassium-based salt substitute. These products give you the salty flavor while actually providing potassium, which helps lower blood pressure instead of raising it. Another trick is to add a squeeze of lemon juice to your cooked eggs. The acidity tricks your taste buds into perceiving more flavor, reducing your desire for salt. It sounds strange, but it genuinely works. Now, the next mistake is about what's sitting on the plate right next to your eggs. Number 3. Pairing eggs with processed meats. Eggs and bacon. Eggs and sausage. Eggs and ham. These are the classic breakfast combos that most of us grew up with. But if you're over 60, this pairing could be one of the most damaging food habits you have. And the research on this is hard to ignore. The World Health Organization classified processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen in 2015. That puts them in the same category as tobacco smoking and asbestos in terms of the strength of evidence linking them to cancer. A meta-analysis published in the International Journal of Cancer reviewed 800 studies and found that eating just 50 grams of processed meat per day, that's roughly 2 slices of bacon, increased the risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. For seniors, this risk is compounded because your cells are already more vulnerable to DNA damage as you age. But it's not just cancer. Processed meats are loaded with sodium nitrites and nitrates, which are preservatives that give bacon and sausage their pink color. When these compounds are heated, they form nitrosamines, which are among the most potent carcinogens known to science. A study from the Harvard School of Public Health followed over 130,000 participants for up to 28 years and found that each daily serving of processed meat was associated with a 20% increased risk of type 2 diabetes and a 42% increased risk of heart disease. Those numbers are staggering when you consider how casually most people eat bacon with their morning eggs. The irony is that you're taking a genuinely healthy food, the egg, and canceling out its benefits by pairing it with something actively harmful. So what should you eat with your eggs instead? Vegetables are the ideal partner, and we'll talk more about why shortly. Avocado is another excellent choice because it provides healthy monounsaturated fats that actually help your body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins in egg yolks. Whole grain toast with no butter gives you fiber and complex carbohydrates for sustained energy. Fresh tomatoes, spinach, mushrooms, and bell peppers not only taste amazing with eggs, but also provide additional antioxidants and phytonutrients that work synergistically with the nutrients in the egg itself. Replace the bacon with a handful of walnuts or almonds if you want that satisfying crunch. This next mistake is one that has misled an entire generation, and it's time to set the record straight. Number 2. Avoiding eggs because of the cholesterol myth. This might be the most damaging piece of nutritional misinformation of the last 50 years. For decades, doctors told patients to limit eggs because of their cholesterol content. One large egg contains about 186 milligrams of dietary cholesterol, and the old guidelines said you shouldn't exceed 300 milligrams per day. So people either stopped eating eggs entirely or threw away the yolks, as we discussed earlier. But modern science has completely overturned this advice. A landmark meta-analysis published in the British Medical Journal in 2020 analyzed 28 studies involving nearly 1.7 million participants. The conclusion was clear. Eating up to 1 egg per day had no significant association with increased risk of heart disease or stroke in the general population. In fact, among Asian populations, it was associated with a 9% lower risk. The reason the old advice was wrong is that dietary cholesterol and blood cholesterol are not the same thing. Your liver produces about 80% of the cholesterol in your blood. When you eat more cholesterol from food, your liver compensates by producing less. This feedback system keeps your blood cholesterol relatively stable regardless of how many eggs you eat. Research from the University of Connecticut confirmed this by showing that in 70% of people, eating 3 eggs per day had no effect on LDL cholesterol. In the remaining 30% who did see a slight increase, the LDL particles became larger and less dense, which is actually a less dangerous form. For seniors specifically, avoiding eggs means missing out on one of the most nutrient-dense foods available. Eggs provide complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids, which is critical for preventing muscle loss after 60. A study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors with higher protein intake had 40% less muscle loss over 3 years compared to those with lower intake. Eggs also support bone health through their vitamin D and vitamin K2 content. They protect your brain through choline. They support your immune system through selenium and zinc. By avoiding eggs out of outdated cholesterol fear, you're literally starving your aging body of essential nutrients it desperately needs. Talk to your doctor about your specific situation, but for most healthy adults over 60, eating 1 to 3 whole eggs per day is not only safe, it's genuinely beneficial. And now, here it is, the number 1 mistake that researchers say can undo nearly every benefit eggs have to offer. Number 1. Eating eggs alone without vegetables or fiber. This is the big one. And it's the mistake that over 70% of seniors make every single morning without even realizing it. You crack your eggs, cook them up, maybe put them on a plate with some toast, and eat them by themselves. No vegetables, no greens, no fiber, just eggs and carbs. It seems perfectly fine, but the science shows this is a massive missed opportunity that actually turns your healthy breakfast into something your body struggles with. Here's why this matters so much. When you eat eggs without fiber, your body absorbs the fat and cholesterol much faster than it should. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that when eggs were consumed alongside vegetables high in fiber, the postprandial cholesterol response, that's the spike in blood cholesterol after a meal, was reduced by up to 30% compared to eating eggs alone. Fiber acts like a sponge in your digestive tract. It binds to bile acids and cholesterol and helps escort them out of your body before they can be fully absorbed into your bloodstream. Without that fiber, everything gets absorbed at full speed. For seniors with already compromised cholesterol metabolism, this makes a huge difference over time. But it goes beyond cholesterol. A 2019 study from Tufts University found that pairing eggs with colorful vegetables significantly increased the absorption of carotenoids, the powerful antioxidants found in foods like tomatoes, spinach, and peppers. Participants who ate a salad with 3 scrambled eggs absorbed 3 to 9 times more carotenoids than those who ate the same salad without eggs. The healthy fats in egg yolks act as a vehicle for these fat-soluble nutrients. So the combination isn't just good, it's synergistic. Each food makes the other more powerful. There's also the blood sugar issue. Eggs with white toast and no vegetables cause a sharper glucose spike than eggs paired with vegetables and whole grains. Research published in Diabetes Care showed that high-fiber meals reduced post-meal blood glucose spikes by 25% in older adults with prediabetes. Since nearly 1 in 3 seniors over 65 has prediabetes, this is not a minor detail. The solution is beautifully simple. Add a handful of spinach to your scramble. Slice some tomatoes on the side. Sauté some mushrooms and onions with your eggs. Make a vegetable omelette instead of a plain one. Even just having a small side salad with your breakfast eggs will dramatically change how your body processes the meal. You'll absorb more vitamins. You'll buffer the cholesterol response. You'll stabilize your blood sugar. And you'll get the anti-inflammatory antioxidants that protect your heart, eyes, and brain. The egg is already a nutritional powerhouse, but without vegetables and fiber alongside it, you're only getting a fraction of its potential while exposing yourself to unnecessary metabolic stress. So, there you have it. 7 egg mistakes that most seniors make every single day without ever knowing the damage they're causing. The good news is that every single one of these is easy to fix. Cook your eggs properly. Eat the whole egg. Use low to medium heat. Cut the salt and use herbs instead. Ditch the processed meats. Stop fearing cholesterol. And always pair your eggs with vegetables and fiber. Small changes like these don't just protect your health. They can genuinely add years to your life. If this video helped you, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another video like this. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.